This is it, Sony's complete InZone ecosystem. Right here I have the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse mat, the headphones, and even the in-ear studio monitors. And Sony has really created this with the PC gamer in mind. So if you're already good at PC games, this stuff has been designed to make you even better. And I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. If this Sony InZone stuff can stop me from getting my ass kicked online, well then I do believe this would be a good gaming investment. Now this is going to be more than just your regular review. I am going to set up the ultimate Sony InZone battle station, and I'm going to download the brand new Battlefield 6, and I haven't played Battlefield since Bad Company 2. So once that's downloaded and installed, I'm going to jump straight into a competitive match to see if this stuff can really give me the edge. There is one inevitable problem though, and you'll see what that is if you stick around. Okay, so here's the setup. The first and most important thing for my new battle station for Battlefield, aside from the PC itself, is of course the monitor. And it is important to know that Sony makes some of the most color accurate monitors on the planet, and those are really for filmmaking, but some of that expertise has been shared here. This one right here is called the Sony InZone M10S. It is a 27-inch tournament-sized OLED with 480 Hz refresh rate. And something that I really love about the design on this one is how small the footprint of the stand is. It's actually so small, it's almost like an optical illusion. And that small footprint is really important because I'm going to need that desk space for the Sony InZone mouse mat. It is very thin at 4mm, and it's got this kind of purple gradient across the top, which is nice. And the surface of this mouse mat is designed for high sensitivity control. Now to go with that, I've got the Sony InZone Mouse A, the first ever gaming mouse from Sony. And this just might be the lightest mouse that I have ever used. It's just 48.8 grams. And it's got custom sensors, optical switches, and an 8000 Hertz polling rate. And of course, I do have the Sony InZone keyboard, codename, I have to read this, KBD H75. It has a full metal body, rapid trigger switches, and it also has an 8000 Hertz polling rate. And it has a gasket mount, which makes each key press so satisfying, and it also sounds really nice too. Now when it comes to audio, I have two options. I've got the Sony InZone M9 Mark II, which is the flagship, and they do have active noise cancelling. I have made an entire video just about those. I'll link that at the end. But a couple of things you need to know about these is they use the same custom Sony drivers as the flagship noise cancellers from Sony, the XM6. And then I have these, the unique Sony InZone E9 in-ear studio monitor earbuds. So I'm gonna have to test both of them out, and I'll let you guys know which one I prefer the most for playing Battlefield. Okay, so those are the components. Now let me show you the glue that binds them all together, and that will hopefully give me even more of an edge when it comes to playing online. Okay, so this is Sony's InZone Hub software for the PC, and as you can see down the left-hand side, I have access to all of the individual InZone components, and even the E9 earbuds will show up here, but you do have to use the little USB-C to analog DAC. So what I'm going to do first is use the H9 Mark II over-ear headphones, and I'm going to set up the spatial audio profile for myself. This does involve actually taking photos of your ears. I have done this with other Sony headphones in the past, so that's actually migrated automatically to my Sony InZone profile. And this should hopefully give me an advantage when it comes to directional audio cues in game. And I'm going to use the FPS1 preset EQ because this one's designed to enhance footsteps. Okay, now let's get a look at the monitor settings within the InZone Hub. So what I'm going to do here is go with the pre-calibrated FPS Pro Plus calibration. This one's actually been designed to help highlight the outlines of characters within the game. So if they are hiding in darker areas of the map, I should be able to spot them more easily with this on. Now for the keyboard, I'm not going to mess around with it too much because I've not played Battlefield 6. I don't know what the keys are at this point, but later on down the line, I could actually bind some keys right here within the InZone software as opposed to within the game software. However, what I am going to do is change the little volume wheel to adjust the headset volume, and if I wanted to, I could set this to adjust the chat and audio mix instead. And one more tweak I'm going to make using the RGB on the keyboard is I'm just going to highlight the ASWD keys, so when I glance down at the keyboard, they'll be shining up in a completely different color from the rest of them, making them easier to find. Now, there is one setting that I am tempted to switch on, and maybe I will later on down the line. There is an ultra low latency mode, but that actually kills all of the backlighting on the keys, which I've just set up. So I'm going to leave that off for now, but later on, if I'm getting my ass kicked a bit too much, I'll come back and switch this on. Okay, now the InZone mouse A. I'm not going to play around with the settings too much on this one. I'm just going to make sure the polling rate stays at 8,000 Hertz. And I am going to change the liftoff distance to 0.8 millimeters. That way the mouse becomes even more responsive to the slightest movement. Okay, so now we're all set up, and I guess there's only one thing left to do. Let's jump into a game. All right, so booting up Battlefield for the first time. A couple of things you should know about my setup here. It's not the newest PC. It's running an RTX 4070, and I've set it up in the best way that I can for frame rates and graphics and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do the training grounds and the initiation breakthrough because it has been a very long time since I played this game. Something that's really cool about the headset is you've got this little red LED light here when you're muted. Got a nice big button over here to unmute. That's very cool, and it's nice and lightweight on my head. Anyway, the monitor itself, it definitely doesn't disappoint, and I'm sitting very close to it right now, so my eyes don't have to move around too much when I'm looking at this screen. I can see edge to edge with minimum effort. And one of the big advantages for OLED over IPS monitors is the black level. The black can be truly black, so if someone is hiding in the shadows, I will still be able to see them, and with that FPS Pro Plus setting on, that should boost that shadow detail up even more. However, it is worth noting some of the pro gaming calibrations do ruin the cinematic look of some games in exchange for that advantage of being able to see things more clearly. There's a lot of people in the chat right here, and that's going to distract me. Now I've got to get the hang of this keyboard. Yes. Is that someone behind that car? Nope. Oh, there's loads of them. They're all lining up for me. This keyboard feels so nice. It's so sturdy. It's not moving around at all when I'm using it. Oh, that guy should have been dead. Oop. That guy's dead next time. Just feels so nice just to tap. Oh, look at that. Nice shot. And it's good that I've highlighted those keys because I'm used to a full size keyboard, so when I glance down I just can reposition my hand where it needs to be very quickly. Fire rate's too slow on this gun. Okay. Not bad from my first run. So the keyboard is super responsive, it's super compact. It's just here where my hand rests, which is really nice. Because the base is so small, the keyboard can literally be exactly where I need it to be without having to worry about the legs on the monitor and all that kind of stuff. Now, when it comes to the audio, there is so much chaos in this game, but I can generally tell where the gunshots are coming from. Footsteps are really clear. I do need to change that chat mix though, because the voices from the other players is getting a bit distracting. Even the passive noise cancelling on these headphones is good. You can actually feel the pressure change inside the ear cups a little bit when you switch it on. And I actually have a NAS drive that's been configuring for like 5 days now, so it's nice to have that blocked out in the background. Apologies if you're hearing that in any of the audio in this video. All right, now it's time to try out the E9s. One downside to wired headphones is, of course, untangling them. So the spatial sound profile has carried across to the E9s, which is really nice. I've also switched the dynamic range here from low to high. Let's see if that makes any difference. Okay, so one of the downsides to the E9 versus the M9 Mark II is, of course, the fact that they don't have noise cancelling. But what they do have is Sony's foam ear tips, which actually do a really good job of passive noise cancelling. They're the same type of ear tips used on the XM 5 earbuds, and once they're in, they're really fixed in place. A couple of big advantages for the E9s is the fact that they are wired, which means there's 0 latency, no data lost, and 0 audio lag, and my ears aren't going to get sweaty during longer gaming sessions. Okay, so the sound quality on these is really nice. Big open sound, bit crispier than the M9. Oh, how do I throw a grenade? It's very, very accurate. I could hear a police car. I actually thought it was outside my window. Oh, and another downside is no microphone on the E9s. Which is fine right now because I don't know anyone on this game. Okay, so there is one thing you should know, and it's that problem that I mentioned in the intro. Well, it is the fact that I have not played mouse and keyboard on a PC since Quake. But what's really surprised me is the fact that all these years later, thanks to this Sony InZone stuff, I'm doing way better than I probably deserve to be. And listen, if I can make a few decent plays on this game, having just played it for the first time and using mouse and keyboard for the first time in like nearly 20 years, well then, if you know what you're doing with mouse and keyboard and PC gaming, imagine what you could do. Okay, so now I've got the full Sony InZone PC gaming setup set up. Now all I need to do is learn how to play mouse and keyboard again. And I will, because my mentality when it comes to gaming is the best time to give up is never! If you want to check out any of the prices on any of the stuff in this video, there'll be links below. I have made unboxing videos for each one of these and a dedicated video on the M9 Mark II. That should be on screen right now. Appreciate you guys. Just subscribed. You're now one of the finest subscribers known to man. See you in the next one. Don't be late.